Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If you can understand English, why can't you speak it? You've studied for years. You know grammar rules. You recognize thousands of words. You can even understand movies, podcasts, maybe even this sentence right now. But when it's your turn to speak, silence. Or worse, slow, broken, unnatural English that doesn't sound like you. Hello and welcome to English with Ryan. Chapter 1. The Brutal Truth. Why you still can't speak English naturally. Here's the brutal truth. You are not bad at English. Most people learn English like a school subject, not like a real language. You memorize grammar rules. You translate every sentence in your head. You try to build the perfect sentence before opening your mouth. And while you're doing that, the conversation is already gone. Because real communication doesn't wait. Native speakers don't build sentences word by word. They don't translate. They don't pause to think about grammar. They react. Fast. Automatic. Natural. That's the difference between knowing English and speaking English. Right now, your brain is stuck in translation mode. You hear something translate to your language, think of a response, translate back to English speak. That process is too slow. Imagine trying to have a conversation like that in real life. It's exhausting. Now think about how children learn a language. They don't study grammar first. They don't translate. They don't wait until they're perfect. They just start speaking. Messy, imperfect, but natural. And over time, their brain builds a system for fast communication. That's exactly what you're missing. Not intelligence, not vocabulary, not talent. You're missing the system that trains your brain to speak automatically. And here's the good news. This is fixable. You don't need 10 more years of studying. You don't need to memorize another 5,000 words. You don't need perfect grammar. You need to retrain how your brain uses English. In this book, you're going to learn how to stop translating, how to react faster, and how to speak English in a way that feels natural, not forced. Because fluency is not about how much you know. It's about how fast you can use what you already know. And once you understand that, everything changes. Chapter 2. Rewire your brain. Think in English, not translate. Your brain is not slow. It's just overloaded. Every time you try to speak English, something invisible happens inside your head. You hear a question. Then you pause. You build the sentence in your native language. You translate it. You fix the grammar. You check if it sounds right. Only then, you speak. That entire process takes seconds. And those seconds destroy fluency. Natural speakers don't do that. They don't translate. They don't build sentences piece by piece. They respond instantly because they think in the language. So the real goal is not learn more English. The real goal is stop translating. To do that, you need to retrain how your brain processes language. Start small. Look around you right now. Don't name things in your native language. Say them directly in English. Phone, table, light, window. No translation, just recognition. Next step, build micro-thoughts. Instead of thinking full, complex sentences, think simple. I'm tired. I'm hungry. This is good. I like this. Keep it basic. Your brain needs speed first, complexity later. Now push it one level further. Add action. I'm going to work. I'm watching a video. I need coffee. Notice something? You're not translating anymore. You're reacting. This is how children learn. They don't start with grammar rules. They connect meaning directly to words. You can train this too with one powerful habit. Narrate your life. When you walk, think, I'm walking to the store. When you eat, this tastes good. When you feel something, I'm a bit stressed. No perfection, no grammar checking, just flow. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your brain will try to go back to translation because that's what it's used to. That's normal. But if you stay consistent, something shifts. The pause gets shorter. The sentences come faster. Fluency is not about knowing more. It's about accessing what you already know instantly. And that only happens when English becomes your first thought, not your second language. Chapter 3. The 80/20 Vocabulary Rule. Speak more with less. You don't need thousands of words to speak English naturally. You need the right words, and more importantly, you need to use them quickly. Think about your own language. Do you use complicated vocabulary every day? Or do you repeat the same simple words again and again? English works the same way. A small group of high-frequency words appears in most conversations. Words like get, make, go, take, do, want, need. These are simple, flexible, and powerful. For example, instead of learning 10 different verbs, you can use one. Get better, get ready, get a job, get tired. One word, many meanings. This is how fluent speakers communicate efficiently. Now here's the problem. Most learners study vocabulary the wrong way. They memorize long word lists. They learn rare or academic words. They focus on single words instead of how words actually work together. And when it's time to speak, those words don't come out. Because your brain doesn't use isolated words in real communication. It uses chunks. A chunk is a group of words that always appear together. I don't think so. At the end of the day, you know what I mean. To be honest, these are ready-made pieces of language. You don't need to build a sentence from scratch. You just take a chunk and use it. That's how speed happens. Instead of thinking word by word, you speak in blocks. So shift your focus. Don't ask, "What new word should I learn today?" Ask, "What phrase can I use in real life today?" Start collecting useful chunks from conversations, videos, or daily situations. Then repeat them. Use them. Say them out loud. For example, "I'm not sure about that." "It depends." That makes sense? Simple, natural, effective. When you practice like this, something changes. You stop hesitating. You stop searching for vocabulary. You start speaking in flow. Because you're no longer building language, you're using it. Fluency doesn't come from knowing more words. It comes from mastering the small number of words and phrases that people actually use every day. Chapter 4. Shadowing Technique. Train your mouth to move faster. Knowing what to say is one thing. Getting your mouth to say it fast enough is another. Many learners understand English and even know the right phrases, but when they try to speak, their mouth can't keep up with their brain. The result is hesitation, awkward pauses, and unnatural rhythm. That's because speaking is not just knowledge. It's a physical skill. Your mouth, tongue, and voice need training just like muscles. One of the most powerful ways to train this is a technique called shadowing. Shadowing is simple, but extremely effective. You listen to a native speaker, and at the same time, or just a split second behind you, repeat exactly what they say. You don't stop. You don't pause. You keep going, even if you don't understand everything. It feels difficult at first. That's the point. You are forcing your brain and mouth to work together in real time. Start with short, natural audio. It could be a podcast, a YouTube video, or even a short dialogue. Choose something slightly above your comfort level, but not too hard. Play the audio and begin shadowing. Don't translate. Don't analyze grammar. Don't try to be perfect. Just follow the sound. Focus on copying, speed, rhythm, intonation. At first, you will fall behind. You will miss words. Your pronunciation will feel messy. Keep going anyway. After a few minutes, something interesting happens. Your mouth starts to move more freely. The sounds become easier. You begin to match the speaker's flow without thinking too much. That's when real training begins. Shadowing builds automatic speaking ability. It reduces hesitation because your brain gets used to producing language continuously, not stopping every few seconds. To make this work, keep your practice short but consistent. 10 to 15 minutes a day is enough. Repeat the same audio multiple times. Each time, You'll notice improvement, clearer pronunciation, faster response, smoother rhythm. You're not just learning English, you're training your speaking system. Over time, this transfers into real conversations. You respond faster. You sound more natural. You stop overthinking every sentence because your mouth is no longer waiting for permission. It's already moving. Chapter 5. Speak in patterns, not sentences. Trying to create perfect sentences every time you speak is one of the biggest reasons you feel slow. You pause. You think. You organize grammar. You search for the right words. And by the time you're ready, the moment is gone. But fluent speakers don't build sentences from zero. They use patterns. A pattern is a flexible structure you can reuse again and again. It gives you a shortcut. Instead of thinking about every word, you plug your idea into something that already exists. For example, I need to, I'm trying to. The thing is, what I mean is, these are not full sentences. They are starting points. Once you have them, you don't need to think about how to begin. You just continue. Compare this. I want to explain my opinion, but I'm not sure how to start. Versus, the thing is, I think this is not a good idea. The second one feels natural, faster, and more confident. That's the power of patterns. Patterns also reduce pressure. You're not trying to be perfect. You're following a familiar structure. Here's another example. Instead of building a sentence like, I don't completely agree with that idea because it has some problems, you can use, I'm not sure about that. Simple, clear, effective. To train this, start collecting patterns you hear in real conversations. Watch videos. Listen to podcasts. Pay attention to how people begin sentences, how they react, how they express opinions. Then practice them. Say them out loud. Use them in your daily thinking. Repeat them until they feel automatic. For example, it depends on, at the end of the day, I guess, to be honest. These patterns act like building blocks. When you combine them with the vocabulary and thinking habits you've already developed, your speech becomes faster and smoother. You're no longer constructing language from scratch. You're assembling it, and that makes a huge difference. Because fluency is not about complexity. It's about having ready-to-use structures that allow you to speak without stopping. Chapter 6. Fix your pronunciation and rhythm. Sound natural, not perfect. You don't need a perfect accent, but you do need to sound clear, smooth, and easy to understand. Many learners focus too much on individual sounds, trying to pronounce every word correctly. But even if your pronunciation is technically correct, you can still sound unnatural. Why? Because natural speech is not about isolated words. It's about rhythm, stress, and connection. English is a rhythm-based language. Some words are stressed, others are reduced. Some sounds connect, others disappear completely. For example, native speakers don't say, I am going to do it. They say, I'm gonna do it. Not because they're lazy, but because that's how natural rhythm works. If you pronounce every word clearly and separately, like a robot, your speech becomes slow and unnatural. I am going to do it. But natural speech flows. I'm gonna do it. This is called connected speech. There are 3 key elements you need to focus on. Stress. In every sentence, certain words are stronger than others. Compare. I want to go now. The important words are louder and longer. The rest becomes softer. If you stress every word equally, your speech loses rhythm. 2. Linking. Words connect together in natural speech. What are you doing? Becomes, what you doing? I want to eat becomes, I want to eat. This is not slang, it's normal spoken English. 3. Intonation. Your voice goes up and down. This is what makes speech sound alive. Flat speech sounds boring and unnatural. But when your voice rises and falls, it adds meaning and emotion. Now here's the key. Don't try to learn pronunciation from rules. Learn it by imitation. Listen carefully to how native speakers talk. Then repeat. Copy. Shadow. Focus on the music of the language. At first, it may feel strange. You might feel like you're exaggerating. That's good, because natural English is more dynamic than you think. Over time, your speech will change. You'll sound less robotic, more fluid, more human, and people won't just understand you. They'll feel like they're talking to a real speaker, not someone translating in their head. Chapter 7. Daily Speaking System. Practice without waiting for anyone. Waiting for the right time to practice speaking is a trap. Many learners think they need a partner, a class, or a perfect environment to improve. So they wait. And while they wait, nothing changes. Speaking is a skill you can train alone every single day. You just need a system. Start with something simple. Talk to yourself. Not in a strange way, but in a controlled, intentional way. When you wake up, describe your plan. I need to check my emails. When you do something, say it. I'm making coffee. This smells good. I need more sugar. This builds automatic thinking and speaking at the same time. Next, use mirror practice. Stand in front of a mirror and speak out loud. Look at your face. Pay attention to how your mouth moves. This forces you to engage physically, not just mentally. Choose a simple topic. Your day, your opinion, something you watched. Speak for 1 or 2 minutes without stopping. Don't worry about mistakes. The goal is flow. Then move to the next step. Record yourself. Use your phone. Speak for 1 or 2 minutes again. Then, listen. At first, it might feel uncomfortable. You may notice hesitation, repetition, or unclear pronunciation. That's exactly what you need. Because now you can see your real level, not what you think it is. Repeat the same topic again. Try to improve slightly. Speak a bit smoother, a bit clearer. This process creates fast progress. Now combine everything into a simple daily routine. 5 minutes. Think in English. Describe what you're doing. 5 minutes. Shadowing practice. 5-10 minutes. Speaking, mirror, or recording. That's it. You don't need hours. You need consistency. The key is frequency, not intensity. If you do this every day, your brain adapts. Speaking becomes normal, not something special or stressful. You stop overthinking. You stop waiting. You start using the language naturally, because fluency is built in small daily actions, not in rare, perfect situations. Chapter 8. From practice to real conversations. Build confidence and fluency. There is a moment every learner faces. You've practiced alone. You've trained your thinking. But now, you're in front of a real person, and suddenly, everything feels harder. Your mind goes blank. Your heart beats faster. You start doubting every word. This is not a language problem. This is a confidence problem. In real conversations, the goal is not to be perfect. Most people are not analyzing your grammar. They are not judging your vocabulary. They just want to understand you. So, shift your focus. Instead of thinking, am I saying this correctly? Think, am I communicating my idea clearly? That small change removes pressure. Now, start simple. You don't need deep conversations at the beginning. Use small talk. Where are you from? What do you do? How was your day? These are predictable, safe, easy to practice. Then, learn how to keep a conversation going. Use reactions. Really? That's interesting. I see what you mean. And follow-up questions. Why do you think that? How did that happen? This creates flow. You don't need long sentences. You need interaction. Also, accept this. You will make mistakes. You will say things incorrectly. You will forget words. You will pause. That's part of the process. Fluent speakers are not perfect speakers. They are comfortable speakers. They keep talking even when things are not perfect. That's the real skill. If you wait until you feel ready, you will never start. Instead, start before you feel ready. Join online communities. Speak with strangers. Use language apps. Take every small opportunity. Each conversation builds confidence. Each mistake teaches you something. Each success, even a small one, pushes you forward. Over time, something changes. You stop being afraid of speaking. You stop avoiding conversations. You start enjoying them. And that's when fluency becomes real. Not when your English is perfect, but when speaking English feels normal, like a natural part of who you are.